Hello, happy Wednesday. I just thought I'd show you how I painted this Hello Summer watermelon sign. It's actually a door hanger, but sometimes I hang these inside my house. So I always like to finish the back, so I just used a gel stain from Minwax called Aged Oak. And then on the front, I'm using Deco Art Tuscan Red. And I already did one coat, so you wouldn't have to watch me do two. And then I've just taken one of those little emery boards from Dollar Tree and I went over a little bit. And so I just used that like sandpaper and got that off. Now I'm using Deco Art's Festive Green. It's a bright summery green. And you'll have to do 2 or 3 coats. I'm using an angle brush for both of these colors. It's just easier for me to get right up on the edge. So now I'm just doing my second coat. I did end up sanding lightly with fine grit sandpaper and then adding a third coat of the green. I wouldn't worry too much because we're going to shade those areas. So now I'm just taking some burnt umber. It's just a dark brown from Deco Art, but you can use any kind of brown. And I'm shading the edge of the green. And I'm just dipping it in water and putting it on my paper towel and then taking a little bit of color on the very tip of my brush and just floating it along the edge. I'm also going to shade the inside where the red is, but I'm going to use just some apple barrel black so it will show up better. But make sure you dry first. And I'm just using the same angle brush, dipping it in some water and then offloading it on a paper towel and then adding a little bit of black on the very, very tip. It really makes it pop and makes it look like it's three-dimensional. You can always take a baby wipe and wipe it off if you don't like it. Now let's paint the letters. The Hello Summer, I'm just painting in a white color. And I'm using a sponge, a makeup wedge actually from Walmart. They come in a bag of 30 for like $1.88. And when you're done, you can just cut the ends off and keep using them. And now I'm just taking a distress crayon from Tim Holtz. It's kind of like a waxy crayon, and I just use a finger dauber and go around the edges in black soot. You can use a sponge though if you don't have these. I just like these distress crayons. Now let's just paint the seeds, and I'm going to put an ant on here this time instead of a bird, but I will still show you how I painted the bird. There's a line where your beak is, so just paint everything black but right at the beak. And then I'm using Deco Art Marigold, but there are all types of yellows you can use. And then I just lightly sand the edges for that worn, distressed look on the ant and on the bird. Now I'm just taking my sponge that had white on it and making sure I dab almost all the paint off so it's dry. And I'm just lightly going over the seeds and the edge of the green on the watermelon with the white. If you don't like it, you can always wipe it off. I messed up a couple places. I just took a baby wipe and wiped it off and redid it. And then I took my Distress crayon in Black Soot and did the very top of the watermelon. Now we're just going to glue the letters on. I'm using some art glitter glue and it dries clear. It just gives you a few more minutes to play with than super glue. And now we're just gluing the seeds on. Now I'm just taking a Posca paint pen. You can use paint and just doing some little squiggles and dots, and then I'm going back with my dotting tool and making my dot more even. And then I just put dots with my dotting tool on the bird for the eye and the tail, and then on the front and back of the ant. Now I'm just going to speckle with some white and black paint. You can just pick any kind of ribbon. You don't have to put a ribbon on, but I just use blacks, reds, and greens and whites. I got all these at Hobby Lobby, except for the Rick Rack is vintage. I've had it for a long time. Once I put my bow on, I'm just going to glue a little bit of greenery on each side. I just used the green berry bush from Hobby Lobby. And then I tied my bow on. I did not glue it. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.